This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, July 24th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 761 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Yesterday in Washington, D.C., the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee, chaired by Republican Senator Mike Crapo of Idaho, held a hearing on the intersection of state legal marijuana and banking and financial services, which is a long-running storyline within legal cannabis. The hearing centered around the proposed Safe Banking Act, which would remove the threat of penalties from banks that work with state legal marijuana businesses. While it's a positive development that the hearing was held at all, it's notable, I think, that the only Republican senators who bothered to show up were Chairman Crapo and Colorado Senator Cory Gardner. Kyle Yeager has a good comprehensive write-up of this one over at Marijuana Moments that I would direct you toward. And I wouldn't really get your hopes up about any positive cannabis reform coming out of the Senate anytime soon. But that's just my read. Our second headline today concerns one of our sponsors, Massachusetts-based multi-state cannabis operator Curaleaf, which was just sent a letter from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration warning them to remove a number of published marketing claims the company has had up on its website about the benefits of CBD, and that some of its products were being improperly sold as, quote, unapproved new drugs, unquote. A spokesperson with Curaleaf said the company was reviewing the letter and intended to cooperate with the FDA, saying, quote, "We can reaffirm that nothing in the letter raises any issues concerning the safety of Curaleaf products. Curaleaf products are all derived from hemp and meet the requirements of the Farm Bill," unquote. Again, Curaleaf is one of our sponsors. The city of Juneau, Alaska is one step closer to seeing the commercial, social, public use of cannabis, as on Monday, the city's assembly voted to pass an ordinance allowing businesses to set up outdoor space for their customers to consume marijuana. Businesses will still need to get approved by the state, but once that's out of the way, customers will be able to smoke cannabis outside and eat edibles inside. The ordinance passed by a count of 6-2. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. Pop over to ease.com today and check out their latest awesome daily deal, which gives you 35% off the cost of select items from Heavy Hitters and Pacific Stone. Just use the discount code PARTY when you check out with those select daily deal items to get your 35% savings. You'll find all kinds of 1-gram vape cartridges, packs, pods, and pre-rolls up for savings. And then, as always, you can scroll down to all the other kinds of modalities and brands found at ease.com. Big thanks to everyone at Ease for supporting today's show. All right, time for the Blitz. Following the release late last week of the list of the first 8 winners of Utah's medical marijuana cultivation licenses, a failed applicant has filed an administrative appeal, saying the state's decision to not award the full 10 licenses it could create a supply shortage, and that some of the 8 winners have no previous experience growing cannabis. The appeal was filed by North Star Holdings LLC, one of the 73 failed applicants. The window for filing administrative appeals in Utah closes on Friday, so it's possible we'll be revisiting this storyline sometime down the road. Yesterday, I reported on policy changes made by Florida prosecutors to no longer charge people with possessing small amounts of marijuana without a certified lab test, due to the fact that last year's Farm Bill made industrial hemp legal. Since the definition of industrial hemp hinges on the level of THC within the plant, that has left police in a deliciously difficult situation. In North Carolina, the response of some state lawmakers has been to try to make smokable hemp illegal. The current battle pits police and police supporters against farmers and their allies, who say they need the option of selling smokable hemp, which sells for a much higher premium than processed oils. Today, the North Carolina House Judiciary Committee will consider two measures, one that bans smokable hemp and another that actually puts it on the state's list of controlled substances. Calvin Hughes over at Civilized picked up on a societal trend piece out of California that I think is interesting to note. Calvin's story looks at the phenomenon of home builders building high-end luxury houses catered towards people who really, really love marijuana. One Los Angeles developer is touting his new house, nicknamed the Marijuana Mansion, that will come with a high-tech hydroponic grow room and a comfortable smoking lounge, both hidden behind a bookshelf secret passageway. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker is criticizing the just-released criminal justice reform plan issued yesterday by former Vice President Joe Biden. Senator Booker said the plan did not go far enough in advancing social justice, saying in a series of tweets, quote, "While it's encouraging to see Vice President Biden finally come around to supporting many of the ideas I and others have proposed, his plan falls short of the transformative change our broken criminal justice system needs. Any comprehensive plan simply must include the legalization of marijuana, an overhaul of police practices, ambitious use of presidential clemency power to right past wrongs, and reinvestment in the communities that have borne the cost of mass incarceration. Joe Biden's plan doesn't do that." Unquote. Bloomberg Businessweek has a nice story up about how it's getting harder and harder each day to fire employees simply because of their marijuana use. With medical marijuana users increasingly being protected by state laws, the possibility of legal challenges is moving a lot of corporations to just abandon cannabis testing of workers entirely, as they all should. A good morale booster for sure. Swing over if you need a quick lift. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich thinks that legalizing marijuana is too complicated of a concept for voters to decide on, and said in an interview with Tucson.com that he'd rather have state lawmakers work out a legislative solution. Activists in Arizona are working to collect enough signatures of support to land a full legalization voter initiative on the 2020 ballot. Our final story today is a Marijuana Business Daily Chart of the Week, which looks at the number of out-of-state patients taking advantage of Hawaii's new medical marijuana Reciprocity program, which allows visiting patients to jump through a few hoops to gain temporary registration to visit island dispensaries. In March, the first month the program spooled up, just 171 patient visitors registered through the Reciprocity program, with that number growing to 533 by June. Among the possible medical marijuana sending states, Arizona sent the most at 124 patients versus 49 from Colorado and 42 from Florida. Pop over for the usual background context and extra detail found with each chart. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.